Hey, what's going on everyone, it's Weston here. So today we've got an award-winning speaker here, the Cambridge Audio Minx GO. Now, does this speaker actually live up to all the hype? Stay tuned to find out. Right, first off we're going to start with the design aesthetic of this speaker. So you can see front on you've got this really large mesh grille, and that is the pretty much predominant feature of the front. You've also got the Cambridge Audio logo, so it's pretty simple to look at there. On the side you can see you've got a combination of gloss black and matte black as well, with sort of a texturized finish to it. This is separated by a grey band, which I think is really nice, and it just sort of separates the two instead of blurring into one, which is really nice. Around the back you can see the really nice piano black gloss finish. The only downside to the finish is, it just attracts and picks up so much dirt and fingerprints. So if you've got this on show, you're definitely going to need to clean it very often. The other cool stuff it has is a USB for charging, so you can charge your devices, which I will be testing later on in the video. You've also got an input for MP3 and a charge port there to charge the actual device, because it charges from mains because of the massive battery. So the main thing you'll notice on the back, you can see the Cambridge Audio there. But then there's this thing right here. Well, this is actually your fifth driver, which I will cover later on, and I'll explain in more detail what it is. So on the bottom, you can see you've got some information about the speaker and a rubberized sort of stand as well, right there. And a texturized rubber finish on the bottom to keep it from getting damaged and to provide a bit of isolation as well. Right, so now let's talk about features, and this is not the most feature-packed speaker, but it does make up for that in many other ways. So we'll kick off the features section with the battery. Now the battery in this device is an unknown amount, meaning I'm not able to find out what exact size the battery is. I have checked, but I cannot find what capacity battery it is. But the battery life is really incredible. I managed to get 4 days use from one charge. Now this was approximately for 3 hours per day, giving roughly 12 hours use in playback. Now this was at between 50% and 75% volume. So I'm thinking, wow, that is really impressive, and possibly best in class performance. I'm not sure because I've not tested every speaker in the same price bracket as this, but it is highly impressive. So the stated charge time for this device is 2 hours on the manufacturer's website, that's the quote. However, during my testing I got closer to 4 hours from completely dead. Now that is from UK mains, so it may vary depending where you are in the world, but considering I got 12 hours use out of it, and then being charged from dead in 4 hours is really impressive. Right guys, so here is the test of the charging feature of the Minx GO. Now as you can see, it is plugged in to the back of the Minx. So what we're going to do now is turn the Bluetooth speaker on. So that sound tells me that it's on, and you can see the LED light flashing. Now I'm going to plug in my phone, my Nexus 5, to see if it actually works for Android devices, which, as you can see, there is no charging icon at all, so it doesn't work for Android phones, but maybe it does work for iOS. So if you have one of these speakers and an iOS device, let me know down in the comments if this feature works. So for your drivers, you've got 2 twin titanium dome tweeters right here, and then you've got 2 mid-bass right here. So you've got 4 drivers at the front, and then you one at the back, which I will explain in a second. On the top you've got a simple volume up and volume down, and your power button in the middle. So there's no call features on this, which is a little bit of a shame, but it's not about that. So like I mentioned already, you've got your USB, MP3 and port your charge. Now it's this, what I mentioned earlier. Now this is a passive radiator, which is designed to give you a really nice clean bass. But does it deliver that? Well, again, stay tuned and I will talk about that more later on in the review. Now let's talk about build quality. Now this device is £100, or you can find it less on places like Amazon and stuff like that. If you're interested, I'll leave some links down in the description. But anyway, the device is amazingly built. I mean, the construction of the front is really solid. I mean, I'm pushing against it pretty hard and it's not flexing at all, so it will provide a lot of protection against damage from drops and stuff like that if you do take it on the go. Looking at the speaker overall, the construction is really nice, really solid. It's got quite a fair amount of weight to it, and it is reassuringly well put together. I mean, there's no like missing details or there's no gaps in the seam or anything like that. The join in between the two halves. All the connections look really nice and high quality, as does the rear driver. I mean, it is a really well made device. So top marks for build quality as well. Now for connectivity. The speaker itself only has Bluetooth and your input for your non-Bluetooth devices. A little bit of a shame it doesn't have NFC, but then again, it has Bluetooth, so is NFC something that you really need from a speaker? If it is, then this is not for you, but for those looking for just Bluetooth, this is fine. So what I'm going to do now is quickly show you a demo of how easy it is to connect to Bluetooth. Alright guys, now I'm going to show you how easy it is to pair the Minx GO to a phone. So I've got my phone here, so what I'm going to do first is turn the speaker on, and that noise tells me it's ready to pair. So I've turned my Bluetooth on. As you can see, it's not found it yet because I've not paired it. So you just simply search for your devices and you can see the Minx GO has popped up straight away. Tap that once and that's it. It's as simple as that and as quick as that as well. Right, so you've just seen that quick demo on how easy it is, and it really is that simple to connect to this device. It's one of the most simple and easiest connections I've ever dealt with a speaker, and it's connected pretty much. In fact, it has connected 100% of the time, no matter what phone, and it's just been pretty flawless. Right guys, so I'm going to try something a little bit different for you today, and I'm going to do a live rain test. So what I'm going to do is take my phone off to a completely different room along with my microphone, and I'm going to leave this camera recording the audio from the speaker, and then I'm going to check the video after to see if there's any noticeable distortion or like that when I leave the room. So let's get the music playing and then I'll leave the room with my mic. Alright guys, so I'm now heading off upstairs to see if there is any noticeable glitching or loss of audio. So I'm at the landing now, so I'm heading off upstairs, and there doesn't seem to be any sort of glitching or anything like that. So let's try and change a track. Well, that happened pretty smoothly, pretty easy, no noticeable sort of glitching or anything like that. So I'm heading off back downstairs now, and I think this has actually worked pretty well. So I'll have to check with my camera mic to see if it did actually distort. But it sounds as like it's worked really well. Right guys, now to the sound. The main reason why we buy audio product is for great sound quality. Now I will dare say that this is the best sounding Bluetooth speaker for under £100. I know you might disagree, but in my opinion and from what I've tested, this is the best one I have ever heard. And I will even dare say that it's better than a lot of more expensive rivals as well. Stuff like your Beats Pill, your Harman Kardon Esquire, so much better than both of them. And better than a lot of other speakers as well. Obviously there are better speakers out there, but for the money, for £100, I think this pretty much not going to be beaten. Right, the reason why it's not going to be beaten is because, I mean, the vocals are just incredible. I mean, I've never heard any vocals sounding as good from a Bluetooth speaker. They're really natural sounding, they're quite airy, they're full of detail, and they're true sounding as well. They don't sound all artificial and enhanced. They're just amazing, to be honest. I mean, I was just listening to it just before this review and I was still blown away by it, even though I've had it for more than a month. The mids are, again, really balanced, really sits nice in the sound field. The instruments and stuff like that have plenty of detail, a lot of vigour as well, so if you like instrument heavy tracks, this is great for that. Also, the mid-range is really detailed as well, in ways other speakers I've tested aren't. And I noticed like on some speakers you miss stuff. You miss sort of like certain details, certain instruments that you don't quite distinguish. But with this, it's incredible. I mean, you can hear your bass is deep but never overpowering, very controlled, and it's got great delivery, and timing is brilliant as well. It hits when it's supposed to hit, and it really does enhance the sound. The high frequencies, again, are really well pronounced. They don't shout at you, they don't snap at you, they're just really nice, really soft, quite mellow actually, if I'm thinking of a word to describe it. It's just a really nice sort of neutral sound. It's really flat, it's really natural, and it's pretty amazing. I mean, it really is that good. Now, the sound of this speaker is great. It's really powerful. It easily fills a room as well. I mean, I do have quite a large room now in my new house, and it easily fills that with no problem whatsoever. Even when you push it, I've noticed there's no distortion. Even like taking it up to 100%, I didn't notice any sort of errors or any stuff like that, any glitches or any sort of crackling or anything like that in the sound. So if you like your music loud, this does deliver that as well. Also, it's got quite a wide dispersion of sound as well, which is something I wasn't really expecting. And by that I mean it sort of spreads the sound out, so you don't need to be directly in front of the speaker to get the most out of it. Right guys, so I've got really carried away there, but you can just tell how much I actually do love this thing, and it is actually going to be mine to keep. I wasn't sure at first, but now I'm definitely going to be keeping this for myself. Right guys, before I forget, I will let you listen to the sound test now. Right guys, so you've heard the sound test. Now I do apologise that the music isn't as great as this deserves really. I mean, it deserves to show off its vocal strengths and stuff like that, but unfortunately I'm finding it really difficult to find music that's suitable to play where I'm not going to get done for copyright. So they're the best I can do for now. I am working on some stuff, but it's proving quite difficult. So guys, I hope you've enjoyed this video. It has been a long one and I have rambled a little bit, but it's just from excitement, and it is a really exciting product. I mean, obviously it's not the most feature packed, but it's pretty incredible for 100 quid. I can't fault it. I really can't. Right guys, I hope you've enjoyed this video and me rambling on tremendously. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all on the next one.